So, you sat through 6 hours of CCXP for a 2-second Godzilla vs. Kong clip. Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show, I'm your host Paul, and I was going to be doing a full breakdown of CCXP, but after watching the event and being completely disappointed, I thought I'd look into the reasons as to why this exactly happened. Now, there are a lot of factors that go into this, such as the event itself, how it was marketed, scoopers, and you, yes you, for causing all your disappointment. Now, I'm sure that everyone behind the event put their heart and soul into it, but for a number of reasons, many people like myself have ended up being disappointed. I'm not having a go at you, I know you tried your best, and it sucks seeing the fan outcry on this when you guys didn't really do anything wrong. However, what was wrong was how the event was marketed. There was absolutely no schedule posted in advance, and therefore many people's imaginations ran wild, and scoopers decided to cash in on that, say what they'd heard at the event even though it wasn't true. Now, the big announcement that was apparently going to be at CCXP was the Spider-Man 3 teaser trailer. There was several people posting online that it was going to be dropped there officially, didn't show up in the panel, and still people were saying, well, they're going to drop it in the middle of the Monster Hunter panel. Just you wait and see. That is a load of crap, and if you know anything about marketing in general or how events are run, you put your big attraction at the top of the flyer and then everything below it. There was no way on earth that Sony were dropping a Spider-Man 3 trailer in the middle of a Monster Hunter panel. In fact, if Sony wanted more people to watch the Monster Hunter panel, they would have said up top, Spider-Man 3 is going to be shown at this, make sure you watch the entire thing. Instead, they said, this is the Monster Hunter panel, that's it. So all the scoopers who said Spider-Man 3 was going to be shown there, either they're very, very stupid and don't understand how marketing works, or they think you're stupid and you're going to believe them no matter what they say, so they just put videos out there, put articles out there, and thought, well, we'll try and make money whilst no one really knows what's going on. Now, a big problem that I have with scoopers, and a reason that I don't do stuff myself, kind of mentioned this in the Mandalorian video, but I like to try and be as accurate as possible. I'd rather just do 6 videos like that a year, get all 6 right, and then people think, well, maybe I can trust this guy. A lot of scoopers I've seen tend to post 50 articles a month, get 10 right, and say, well, I got those 10 right, so as you can see, I'm an accurate source. They completely brush to the side everything they got wrong and just focus on the good, which doesn't really paint out an accurate picture of them, and I think they know that people have a very short memory and thus will forgive them. So what they do is they just milk as many things as they can, know that people will forget, and they don't really think very highly of their audience. Just my personal opinion, but I see it happening so often that either they're stupid or they think the audience is. There's no real in-between on it, and unfortunately it's just a way for them to make money, in my opinion. Now, Superhero Nexus this morning actually said I'm quite a reliable scooper. I don't want to be a scooper though, I hate the term, and that's why I just try and report as few things as possible unless I feel that they're very, very accurate. However, there are people that do this and they have big channels, and the Spider-Man 3 gonna be at CCXP got everyone hyped up, including me, and I watched the entire Monster Hunter panel waiting for a big reveal and felt like a bit of an idiot at the end of it. Now, what CCXP actually did was that they announced there was going to be a 6-hour Warner Media's panel and didn't really put a schedule out until about an hour before the event. Thus, over the weekend, tons of people were speculating about there being a catsuit reveal, us seeing more of the Snyder Cut, there being a Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, and a lot of hype built up around this. Now, this isn't really CCXP's fault, but the fact that they didn't post the schedule until this point, well, people are obviously going to speculate, and thus, it's not entirely on our shoulders or the people reporting it. However, as I've mentioned with the Spider-Man 3 thing, when I was looking at this, I just thought there's no way that there's going to be a big reveal here. The Monster Hunter panel had 800 people watching it, and there was absolutely no reason that a big studio like Warner Brothers would want to drop something massive to that short of a crowd, basically. They did say at the start of the Warner Media panel that it was going to be like DC fandom, but it was basically a highlight reel of DC fandom without any of the highlights. Thus, we saw lots of trailers that we'd seen before, learned very little, and overall, you know, it was a waste of time, especially if you're a comic book movie enthusiast and have been following this stuff from August and kind of know all the ins and outs of it. Now, like I said, there was a schedule posted beforehand, but it didn't really have the ins and outs, all the breakdowns of it, and thus it was very difficult to tell whether this was going to be accurate or not. Even when I posted it the other day and said, look, this is the complete schedule, I had people still saying, well, could there not be a Batman trailer there? Could there not be a Godzilla vs. Kong one? Because it just wasn't well defined enough, and thus people's imaginations ran wild. Now, whoever edited together the introduction for that panel made one big mistake, and that is that they put a clip of Godzilla vs. Kong in it right at the beginning. So a lot of people thought, well, this is definitely going to be at the event, and I'm going to stay watching for the next 6 hours. Maybe it wasn't a mistake, maybe they did it on purpose to keep people engaged, but either way, it led to a lot of angry people. I was pretty much watching the stream for the 6 hours, and it was a constant flurry of Godzilla vs. Kong trailer now, and little angry faces popping up all the time. Now that for 6 hours is absolutely agonizing, and it just didn't make for a fun watch at all. However, within the first 30 minutes, I knew there wasn't going to be anything big at the event, and I just thought, should I turn this off? It just looks like a repeat of stuff that we already know. However, CCXP did something very, very cruel, and they put a time slot in for 9 o'clock, well, not a secret panel, but it teased and said, it's not the end, or something to that effect. Therefore, people like me, you know, are thinking, oh, should I go to bed? It's getting near midnight and I'm exhausted. And we thought, we'll stay around and see what this is. Wasn't worth it, wasn't worth it, I must say. I think it was just people dancing to a band, and I can't even remember what song it was that late, but it sucked. So we kind of have this mismanagement on their part of really defining what the event is going to be, and in doing so, expectations were able to run wild. Personally, I would have just listed everything top to bottom, and therefore people can look at it, gauge what's going to happen, and then be like, right, well, you know, I'm not going to be mad if there's no Godzilla vs. Kong trailer here because they haven't teased it. But the fact that they did at the start of the panel and also left some mystery at the end of it, it made people like myself think, well, maybe the scoopers are right this time. They weren't. Now, I feel like this video is very, very negative, but unfortunately, that's the main feeling that I got from watching it. Whether it was down to me expecting too much, CCXP not really outlining what was going to happen, or just people running wild with reports in order to make money, everything was a colossal disappointment. Even Jim Lee popping in to say, there's no Batman footage today, but I'm going to wear a t-shirt and stand in front of the logo, it felt like a bit of a kick in the teeth. Personally, I just don't think that Warner Brothers wanted to blow their load at this event, especially when the audience was so small. They had the opportunity here to either post trailers online, on YouTube directly, collect all of the monetization from that and make lots and lots of money, or do it at a live stream for 800 people, make no money, and, you know, they didn't have to, so they just showed footage that they'd already shown. Even MTV last night got a brand new exclusive clip of Wonder Woman, and it's clear that, you know, whilst they give some stuff to CCXP, they know where the bigger audience is and thus marketed the brand new crazy stuff to that. Now, unfortunately, Comic-Con really seems to have underwhelmed everyone this year, and even Justice Con completely outshone the one in the summer. It's difficult to really take anything massive from this one, and it just feels like a bit of a letdown. I know a lot of it is down to the pandemic and it's not the creators' fault, but personally I think they should have just postponed the event because they didn't really have the lineup to justify this runtime. There was also, of course, the delays that went into it, and when so many movies have been pushed back, you don't want to announce and show clips for ones 2 years in the future, so you're just focusing on the ones that you've already marketed for the last 12 months. Even announcements like the Snyder Cut continuing in comics just got overshadowed because expectations had been set so high that we were going to get a Godzilla vs. Kong trailer, and therefore that's all people focused on, and it completely let everyone down. So I was to blame, you were to blame, CCXP was to blame, Scoopers were to blame. I think the entire time I just felt like John Cena during that Suicide Squad clip, completely let down. Now, if you enjoyed the video or if you have a different perspective to me, then obviously I'd love to hear it in the comment section below, so make sure you drop them. If you want to see a breakdown of the best 2 seconds of the entire event, then we put together a video that goes through the ins and outs of the Godzillaverse con clip and points out all the things you missed. Don't forget we're giving away 3 copies of the Lord of the Rings 4K box set, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 30th of December, so make sure you get involved. Anyway, thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. I've been Paul, you've been the best, I'll see you next time. Don't cry, please don't cry.